What's up, y'all?
Hello, hello.
We're back. Whoa, I look so dark right now.
I messed with the cameras, so I think it's probably just.
I also feel like
lighting.
my head is enormous for some reason. I don't know why. This is the size my head always is. I'm pretty sure.
These cameras move around. The ones out there, at least. This one doesn't.
That's true. Hey, can you turn my headphones up a little, Jay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, y'all.
There you go.
Welcome back. Can I get more, actually?
More.
Yeah.
Wow. We're getting close to the end. There we go.
Really? Huh.
How's that? Better?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
We'll see how loud this is coming out of my computer. Oh yeah, I probably gotta ditch this because we have an overhead cam today, and otherwise I'm just gonna have my bill of my hat in view again. Yeah. So here we are again, another stream. We're back, and today we're gonna do something kind of silly. I'm a little, I guess, nervous, maybe, because I've decided to give myself a challenge today. You know, a lot of these streams have been me producing some music with some sort of random parameters. I think that like creative restrictions are a really useful way to practice creativity. You know, I sit here at my computer with like the sea of infinite possibilities in front of me, and sometimes it's hard to know what the thing is that you should do. And so sometimes just like making some decision of how you're going to restrict the choices you're going to make helps you make them.
Wiser words have never been spoken.
Yeah, I guess. So, so I am going to attempt to dramatically restrict my creative options today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create as much of a track as I can using only a single instrument as my sound source. This is one of the more restrictive single instruments I could have possibly chosen. I'll show you. Jay and I both drive Kias, which is kind of a coincidence. I bought mine from my girlfriend's grandmother. It's one of those cars that only got driven to the grocery store and back for its entire life. And for some reason, Kia, the company, has ventured into the world of free software instruments and released this tool, which is making noise in its default preset. This is Movement. This is a Kia Motors virtual synthesizer. I was incredibly perplexed by this when I saw it was announced. I thought it was a joke. But here it is, open in my DAW and making noise. This is a very strange instrument. I'm going to turn that down. I don't really want to hear that right now. This is a super weird, quirky instrument. And there's not a lot to it, which means that I'm going to have my work cut out for me. So what this is a synthesizer, and it's a monophonic synthesizer with some sample playback capabilities. Has some really, really basic features. So I'm going to be pulling out all the stops and using all of my resources in Ableton to manipulate the sounds I make with this thing to create something that feels like a whole track. So the options in here, like I said, are pretty restrictive, right? We have a single oscillator with just the kind of 4 basic waveform selections. We have a triangle, square, saw, and some sort of noisy sine. And then, you know, our oscillator has a ADSR envelope. And then there's also a filter, you know, resonant low-pass filter, also with an ADSR envelope. It's kind of nice that it's separate, at least we have that. There's an overall, like a tone knob, which is kind of like a tilt EQ. You turn it to the right, it makes it brighter. Turn it to the left, makes it darker. And then output and some octave controls, which I think affect the keyboard mostly. Yeah, so the thing that's really weird about this thing is that aside from being a single oscillator monophonic synth, it also has a built-in sampler, but it's like not like a sampler that you can drop your own samples in. It's like a noise machine that like you'd buy to like help you go to sleep. And what? So you can toggle between these 8 sounds. You'll be hearing a lot of this one tonight.
You're all very pleasant.
This sample is super distorted in the left ear. You like hear it distorting. That's pretty bad. Fun. Okay, yeah, so those are the samples. So those will just loop forever. And so we have this mixer control, so I can mix in that sample. It doesn't seem to be affected by the filter or the output tone controls. So not super useful unless we're trying to create a nighttime ambiance. But the interesting part is that this noise knob. So what this is it mixes, this sends the sample through the filter and the envelope. So we'll be utilizing this. Look at your fancy setup there, Jay. We'll be using this to do some weird stuff.
Yeah, we weren't really able to do this before.
So there's basically right, yeah, this is great. So this is the result of me using NDI. I'm sending a video out from my computer, not via HDMI, but over Ethernet. And so Jay's able to mix it in digitally rather than using the physical switcher, which lets him do fun picture-in-picture stuff. So I'm going to be using this thing in 2 ways, right? So this is going to be the only source of sound for this whole project. There's a lot of, there's a few different things it does, but not too many. So some of what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as an instrument, and I'll just play it, and I'll make some patches, and I'll probably have a few different instances of it. But probably also what I'll do is I'll resample some sounds out of it for further manipulation. So I'm just like, I'm saying this now because that's kind of fun. And the way I've created this sound is with I've jacked up the filter resonance super high. So that sound, that pitch that we're hearing is actually the resonant filter self-oscillating. And as you can see, based on these keys playing back on the screen, it plays the same note no matter what note I feed it, because it's not actually tracking the pitch that I'm playing, it's just generating resonant feedback in the oscillator. So let's resample this real quick, and then we'll turn this into an instrument. Insert audio track, set to resampling, and hit record. Oh, I gotta arm that other track too. Interesting. Okay, cool. So as always with Ableton, you just make a new MIDI track, drag your audio sample down to it, and here you have a playable instrument. Let me trim that a little better. Anytime you do this, you have to tune it. So we'll get our tuner out real quick. Make sure that our C notes are coming out as C. It's probably not. There's no reason it would be. Definitely not. So that's a G note. We're going to move this down until it says C. That's the note I'm playing, so great. Cool. Let's start with those chords, because those are the 4 chords that I played. I just had Hudson Glover here in the studio for a minute, just talking about how he loves to just, to focus on writing songs from a perspective of just starting with some chords, and, rather than trying to worry about learning a bunch of other songs, just learn how to play some chords and put them together. So here I'm going to do just that. I'm going to make these all 1 bar, I think. I just reached my hand over the keyboard and I played something that came out in the key of C. Let's get away from there because I think that's not super exciting. Jay,
Yeah.
Will you pick a number between 1 and 12?
11.
Okay. Starting on A, if A is 1, that would mean 11 is G sharp. So let's move to the key of G sharp.
Was that a good number?
It's a very distant key, so it's fun. Great number, Jay. Great number. So let's. Oh, cool. This is interesting. Live has updated to do something that I have long craved that it would do. Let me show you. So now hopefully you can see the note names here. Yeah, that's big enough. So these are all nice round note letter names. These are, G, E, C, A, etc. However, like every note can be called something else depending on context. So like another word for F is E sharp. And another word for E is F flat. In certain contexts, those things make sense. So when I changed the scale to the key of G sharp / A flat, it retitled our notes to be the correct names if we are in the key of G sharp. So in the key of G sharp, this note that is normally called G is actually called F double sharp. And that's what that X symbol is right there. Yeah. So anyways, kind of interesting. But you don't got to know or care about this if you don't want to. So I've changed the scale, but I haven't actually changed which notes it's playing. So I need to do that. So I'm just going to boop, boop. I believe it needs to be here like that. Interesting. So yeah, I got a couple notes that are cut off at the beginning here. Boop, boop, boop. That's kind of fun. I'm gonna add some more. I like that. That's kind of weird, kind of nebulous sounding. So cool. This will be like a nice, I'll just like choose, these will be our chords. Something along those lines. Let's find you a good level of zoom for this right now. These chords are a little messy, so let's high pass them. Spread them. Yeah, you hear that already? Big difference. You hear the sample kind of clicks every time it triggers? It's because I didn't start it at a 0 crossing. If I am a little more careful about it, it will do that. And if I really don't want to hear any click at the beginning, I'll turn the attack up. So in addition to this, I'm gonna just chuck a little, pull some of the lows out of the whole thing. Cool. So this is at least we have a harmonic concept. So let's make another sound. I'm gonna ditch that resample, and I'm gonna flip back to the default preset. So we haven't really gotten into playing this thing yet. So let's do that. So I'm gonna set it up. So here's this raw sound. Well, that's not super raw. Let me, this default preset is not very default by default. This is sort of how I would prefer to have something set up like this. I just feel like that's such a great sounding sound just by itself. Like there's something about that that's super rich. Really like it. So I'm just trying to play the filter. Something really screwy going on with this range here. It sounds like it's wide open after about that point on the thing. So I wonder if that's because this it expects you to use this mod control. Fun. Let's do that. So let's get a little bass action going for this thing. What key are we in? G sharp? Like, why does this sound so gross? It's because I'm clipping that channel super hard, huh? Let's turn this down. We'll turn this thing up. There's some weird high frequencies in there. That's kind of fun. Let me turn those up. Pretty gross. I like it though. Kind of into these gross sounds lately. Surprise, surprise. Anyone who watches these streams knows. Let's see. Find this repetition. I think is probably better. Let's quantize this thing. I don't really care. I think I played the wrong note there. Oh no, that one was right. Cool. This is like, you know, I'm sort of building out a little sound world here, and then we'll turn this into something that feels more composition-y in a bit. Cool. So this is going to be a dedicated track for that instrument. I'm going to like leave that as like the synth. So let's pull another instance out. One thing that'll be interesting to see what happens is this thing is not native to these new Mac processors, I don't think. Yeah, it's running as AU, so it's probably taking a lot of CPU. Again, I think it's doing one of those things where it's taking more CPU when it's idle than when it's actually playing. Like maybe? Oh, nope. No, it's just taking a lot of CPU. Oh, okay. I don't know, I was having a weird bug with, you remember like last week or the week before it was doing that? It's very strange. Yeah. So let's just flip through and see if any of these presets inspire us. Super weird.
I feel like I'm hearing your tapping on the keyboard more than I am the whatever sound it's trying to make.
It's very strange. Well, that's not it. Cool. All right, then we're getting into something that feels like almost drummy. Well, that's kind of fun, though. Ooh. Cool. Oh yeah, there was something weird in Kia's product marketing language about this that said that something about like something really goofy about how like 120 beats per minute was the optimum tempo for something absurd that, you know, like it didn't make any sense to me. So we're gonna stay at 120, which is the default Ableton tempo. Just I usually would go somewhere else. I don't particularly care for 120 as the tempo. It's not really what inspires me a ton, but we're gonna stay there for this. Creative restrictions, right? So I'm just going to dink around on this for a second along with this and see if anything happens. That's kind of interesting. That could be a thing. Little emotional content there. You hear it's doing something funny, like it's not sustaining very well.
That's kind of cool.
Fun. Make a little like cutesy pop song or something. It's like a little background like accompaniment riff. Cool. So we'll let that be, and we'll add another track. Wow, these presets are wild. I found this crazy one earlier that that wasn't it. Let's see if I can recreate what I was doing. So I had like a square wave thing going on, and it was like pitched. Pitched crazy low. Wow. It's like crazy volume spike. Let's check a limiter after that. Look at all that gain reduction. It's pretty fun. What note is that, though? Sounds like C sharp, doesn't it? Which is relevant to us, because we are in G sharp. So C sharp's a reasonably closely related thing. Resampling, let's record that, because that's fun. So I'm just, trying to just make the weirdest sounds I can here. Let's see. Oh yeah, this thing has a record button. Just capturing a second one just in case. Oh, it came back around. That was surprising. Okay, so that sounds like C sharp to me, like I said. So I want to see if I can make the sound of G sharp too. Well, there's a different note at least. Not the note I was looking for, but. Different sound. A weird one. So again, like, I'm trying to build up a little like sound world here that I can work in and like see what I can make of it. What note is that? Yeah, I thought it was close. Sounds correlated, but not quite right. I'm going to unwarp this, and I'm going to pitch it up a little bit. This one's like pretty close to C. This one's just a little bit shy of G. There it is. Cool. So these are now in key. Fun, easy, love it. So like maybe there's gonna be some moment where the song goes. It's a technical term. Yeah. We're gonna keep those. I'm getting committed and destructive here. I just deleted that instance of that thing because now I have audio version of it. So I want a kick drum now, and that's what I was just trying to do, is make a kick drum, and it totally failed. But let's see if I have any luck doing it again. I made a really cool one earlier, and I should have just not thrown it away. But I did, so here we are. Oops. We're gonna make some hi-hats real quick, because this is like getting into hi-hat territory. I guess we should do this on the same resampling track. Just gonna hit record, and then I'm just gonna record some variations on this. Yes, yeah. Oh, that's cool. Nope. Okay, there's some perks in there. Let's see, and then let's try and make. I'm just gonna try and turn that into something else too. So. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. Whoa. All right. Feeling it. So we got an interesting little like thing going on in there. I'm just gonna go tweak some more sounds here. So I'm going for a kick drum. I want a kick drum really bad. I'm not finding one yet, but it's coming, I swear.
No
tweaking knobs till something happens. It was doing this crazy clicking thing before that I really liked that I thought would make a really nice kick drum. And it was like repeating.
When you were talking about doing like a creative challenge, it kind of made me think about trying to do a stream with like Maya or something, or some program that some equivalent to something that's like I've never. I mean, I know a little bit about it, but never really tried to use it before.
Totally. Yeah, it's an interesting challenge to like to put yourself in that position.
Right.
Man, I wonder what was going on in that other patch. There's not that many knobs. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
can you make like and save presets too?
Oh, you totally can.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, is that what that? I see the default and say you could save and.
What's happening is when I turn up VCA init, that's like the base level of the oscillator. So here the oscillator is constantly firing, but it's playing a super low note. So those events are the changing of the square wave from the off to the on cycle, and then it's bouncing into the reverb and self-resonating the filter.
Huh.
Well, that's kind of a cool perk. Let's get that real quick. I kind of feel like this is like starting to develop a direction here. Still don't have my kick drum though. We're getting close though. There it is. That's it. Here we go. Let's record that. Cool. And now I need a snare. I don't have a snare yet. So let's do that. We're gonna get one of these noise samples. Like, I don't know which one yet.
One of them, huh?
One of them. Why does that sound like that? What? Something like weird is going on. If I switch it. Oh. Okay, here we go. So I want like a noise sound. So I'm gonna get out like.
Water.
We're gonna leave this one as audio, or as like as a synth patch, I think. I was having fun like processing snares yesterday. I want to do some more of that. So let's just do that. We're gonna get I was doing it in Vital. I got some really great results using sine wave distortion in Vital.
Is that one of those plugins?
Yeah, Vital. That's another one we'll cover in more detail in a future stream. It's a cool free synth.
Gotta love it when it's free. Makes it that much cooler.
It really drives me crazy how little good free music software there is.
Yeah. I was just talking earlier today about the free web hosting, file hosting service for developing websites. It's great. Has all the features you can need, and it's free.
You playing some grooves in there, Jay?
Oh, can you hear me? Yeah,
yep.
Sorry.
That's cool.
Just tapping on the keyboard.
Interesting. Oh, those notes don't play? Oh, it doesn't oh, that's F8, that's why. It's not being very responsive to my MIDI notes here. You can see this little pattern here.
It plays them back through the...
I'm triggering it with the synth right now.
Oh, okay. So in order for it to not play through that, you have to record it to a track or something.
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm just noticing that's pretty funny that it's not actually playing the rhythm that Cool. Anyways, that's neat. So let's. I'm gonna get out a drum rack. I'm funny that I like to pitch my snares sometimes and not the rest of the drums. Where did I put those kicks? Oh man. I'm gonna have to pull out some real tricks to make this a kick. Oh geez. Okay. What do I know how to do? All right. Whoa. This is our kick drum. Okay.
Well, that's so weird looking.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, I mean, it looks like exactly what it was, right? A square wave with some weird modulation happening every time it moved from high to low cycle.
Huh.
I'll normalize it. So here's what this thing sounds like. Oops. There. Sorry, man, this thing is crazy. It's the offset. The offset things are what makes it really wild sounding. But why does this keep changing off my... Oh yeah, I think those are... Is that the right thing in there? Did I grab this right thing? I feel like it's not sounding like how I was expecting it to sound. There we go. That's what I wanted. So you're going to see pretty quickly why this is not a great sample. It's got a lot of problems. It's got DC offset, so the center line is offset from center. So if you feed the signal to a speaker, the speaker, the way a speaker moves inwards and outwards with positive and negative signal. But if you feed it a signal like this, it's just gonna push it out with a constant voltage, or suck it in with a constant voltage, out of center, which is it's not good for speakers, and it doesn't help your sound. We can get rid of this though. We're gonna need to resample this again, and we will use there's a simple way to get rid of DC offset, and that is with the utility plugin. So we can pull up in utility and just flip this DC switch on. DC's offset is another way of visualizing DC offset is that it's a super, super low frequency sound added to it. So this will just filter everything below 10 hertz or something like that. And we should be able to resample it and get rid of all that crap. Cool. So if we load this thing in here, the DC offset is gone. Beautiful. So we only want one of these. So I don't want this to be a loop. So I'm just going to trim off the rest. And then, come on, launching the sample. Oh yeah. Great, there it is. This really doesn't sound much like a drum, so we gotta pull out some tricks. So a great way to fake some low end in a sample is to use a high pass filter. Counterintuitive, but you can, so I'm gonna turn this is a high pass filter with the resonance, or the cutoff turned all the way down, and then I'm gonna crank the resonance. You should hear some low end start to creep in, right? Without it, and with it, you probably have to have headphones to hear that. And I can tune that.
Oh, there it goes. Now we can hear it. I hear it more of your tapping on the keyboard than the actual sound itself.
Yeah, it's subtle. But there it is. So like it's kind of like womping. So I'm gonna like I want it to I don't want it to last that long. Cool, great. That's like an acceptable kick drum. We'll be a lot happier with it if we chuck a little drum bus after it though.
Is that a bus full of drums?
It's a group processing plugin. Oh, it's being hidden by my.
Oh, here.
Let's
see.
That's cool.
Oh, you can't.
Here I can just. There it is.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So it's the drum bus is just like it's a multi-effect plugin that does a bunch of different things. I pull it out on here all the time. Has like multiple stages of distortion. It has like a really simple no-nonsense compressor, like a post-processing high shelf, a transient shaper, which is, to my knowledge, the only place this appears anywhere in Ableton. And then this thing will actually synthesize sub-frequencies as well.
So this is where you set up your the pads on the keyboard, right?
Oh, cool. Listen to this real quick. I'm going to set this up with a competing frequency. So this other one is like the actual synth. Like I used the filter to add some resonance around 40 hertz. Here, I'm going to add resonance at like an uncorrelated frequency, like 60 something. And it gets this kind of like messy thud. This kind of like, I often refer to this as like the cardboard box sound, or like the dumpstery kind of kick drum sound. It's like kind of a trashy, thuddy, crappy kick drum. Cool. Let's see if we can make some noise with that. I'll just make a really basic pattern, I think, for now. Cool. I think I have a concept here going. I want to do this kind of sweet and not so sweet song.
Sweet and sour?
Well, sour is not the word I'm looking for, but
sweet and spicy.
I really do love a lot of the music that I've listened to lately. Has these extreme contrasts between a sweet
sweet and crunchy,
sweet bubblegum section, and then a harsh noise section or something. I really am enjoying the juxtaposition, and also just feeling like making a lot of harsh noise lately. I'm trying to hold back here on the stream because I know it's not necessarily fun to listen to, especially while it's being made, because you just hear a bunch of weird noises until it's organized into music. But yeah, we got some drums here. Let's throw some more things in this kit then. These are all of our KIA sounds. So I made a bunch of random perks here in this audio file. Let's listen to them real quick. There's a time and a place for that, for sure. I wish it was easier to flip back and forth between, as soon as I go to select this clip, then I have to go click over to my drum rack again and then click back up on this clip. I find that super tedious. But this might actually be easier. Now that this clip is here, I can just drag copies of it around here, and then change what portion of this longer audio file it plays. So I like that one. Let's get another one going over here. There was one in particular that I really liked. I can't remember which one it was though. That one's kind of cool. You know, so when I'm pulling out samples for drums, like I'll usually I'll grab more than I think I'll need. There's something charming about that. So where is that? There's like some really good one though somewhere. Oh yeah, these ones. I like these. It's kind of fun to like throw in a little bit of like pitched percussion. It doesn't have to be in tune with your song if you don't want it to, and it you know, pitched percussion can be just fun just all on its own. Am I doing something funny with these? Oh, I am. Cool. I'll grab one more of those. I think I'm going to stop grabbing these. Sweet. Those are cool. How close are they to our key? So I could tune them. That one seems the most out. But maybe that's actually the root. Let's like let me get a little more drum patterning going in here. Whoa. When did that start? It didn't get its MIDI off message, so it was stuck. Happens sometimes. That sample didn't get trimmed very well. Yeah, so like even though I thought I did a pretty decent job of trimming these, like I'm noticing that they're kind of playing a little funny, and so you really got to go in here and like get granular with it, you know, because like especially if you want things to repeat rapidly, like if there's a little bit of silence at the beginning, it'll just repeat that silence really rapidly. You know.
I was kind of thinking about that with like walk cycles earlier. It was like where you trim off the certain frames to get it to loop correctly.
Cool. All right. We're making a song, right? Is the notion here. So let's do that now. So I feel like I have some sounds, I have some ideas. Let's like get compositional. So like I feel like this thing really naturally has an intro that goes like this. Maybe like one more repetition of that, I think. So that's a little repetitive there, so we'll cut that back. Let's get some automation going on here, make this a little more interesting. So I know I did this like high passing here with this filter, but I don't think it's actually doing anything. So I'm gonna replace this instead with a regular like low pass that we can automate. So here's one of my favorite cheap tricks, is just to make the filter like open up and then like jump to another spot. You probably won't hear a ton of this activity since there's not a lot of upper harmonics, but if we add some, cool, that's fun. I want to get another thing going on with this instrument in order to make some more melody here. And it's just occurring to me that this is a new instrument and I have not tested it yet. So I'm going to save this just in case it crashes Ableton, because sometimes that happens. Let's see if we can find a preset that does something cool. Wow. So interesting. Nice. Dorky little melody ideas. I don't know if any of that was like... cool ideas. I kind of like this one was kind of cool. So yeah, this could be like a thing that plays up top, and then like this thing comes in here, and then yeah, we could clean this guy up. All of my clips are guys apparently. So this is a wrong note here. Doesn't sound wrong though, it's okay. So I guess it's kind of like doing something funny to the melody, but it's fine. So I got an idea. Like, what if we call and response this thing, but we duplicate it and we have a different sound here. So, okay, so now we have a new section of the song coming. We're gonna introduce that section with these wacky guys on warp. It's going to another place. Going to another place real quick. Okay, so this is gonna make sense somehow. Let's duplicate this drum rack because I want to tweak it and I don't want to think too hard about what I'm doing. I'm going to add that, oh, not shaper, saturator, with that sinoid distortion. Neat. Let me put a limiter on this thing for you guys, sorry. I'm gonna change this this clip here to be more of like a 4 on the floor kind of energy. Just feeling that. That one's so weird. Changing the vibe up. It's like a Blade Runner soundtrack kind of energy over here. Oh yeah, I made it. Okay, we accidentally generated these weird loops earlier, and I wanted to involve one of them because it was reminding me a lot of something from the Oil of Every Pearl's Nonstop remix album. Neato. So we're gonna set 1-1 to the. Weird as heck. Super cool though. I never would have written that. It's a very strange sound. It's not like full like it ought to be though, you know. So maybe we get the, I like pedals, kind of fun.
Oh yeah, that's a cool one.
There's fun. Okay, so like, where's it gonna go from here? I don't know. I feel like it needs to get a lot nastier before it gets less nasty, probably. And then we'll bring back in this cutesy intro later. So we'll just, these guys are gonna be on repeat. Neat. It's getting like this kind of like weird pulse that I didn't intend to do, just because like the pulsing of that groove. Here we're gonna do something really weird, Jay.
Okay.
Are you surprised? No. So I'm going to take this this recording I made of just all these random sounds, and we're gonna use it all as a clip to do something. So we'll Set 1, 1 there. This is going to be a regular length loop and everything. Fun. Well, actually, I wonder if we could, we'll see what happens. I'm just going to, I actually don't want to use this. Well, let's just see. I don't really know what I'm doing. Let's make this longer. I think I do want it to be longer. So can I stretch this out? Yes, here we go. So I'm gonna like stretch this out to like work over a 16 bar period. So I have my 16 bars here. And now I'm going to crop clip. And then I'm going to quantize this thing hard to the current grid. Oh, not just the selection though, everything. So now I have all these random sounds, but now they're on the beat. And we'll see if anything interesting comes of that. I think it might be more interesting if these things fell like on the off beats or whatever. So I'm going to move the start point and make sure it's a loop. Yeah, so I moved it back at 8th note earlier, so now like these things are all popping in on the offbeat 8th notes. These are really strange sounding. I'm actually going to put them in beats mode and put it in the forward playing mode. So let's just compress the crap out of this. But we'll probably want to gate it first. So we'll put a gate on it with a preset that's probably like gated drums. Let's use that. And then we'll, what did I say I wanted to do it? Oh yeah, I wanted to like do some craziness. Distort the ever-loving crap out of it, I believe is the term I used. Yeah. Cool. I like that pitch. So I didn't really like play any instrument sounds in here, right? Like, we are kind of like moving to a related key, so I wonder if I can actually get something going in here though. Like, instead of just capturing it.
This sounds like a good, like, if this was looping, this sounds like a really good stream intro sound.
Yeah?
I kind of like it, just like, it's got a kind of space vibe going on.
A little bit of a rocket ship kind of sound.
Yeah. Be a good, like, countdown. You got a big, like, countdown to an event or something. That's cool.
And then let's circle on back here. Oops, what? Excuse me.
Is your tuner just going all over the place because it's picking up everything? Or is it picking up, like, one of those?
It's just picking up that one track. It's just a complex sound, and it's not actually particularly in tune.
Right, okay. But that's purpose. That's on purpose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not really using it anymore. I can just get it. It's not. That's actually not tuning anything. It's just telling me what the note is.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay, where is this thing even at? This is getting out of control. Okay, let's hear this. There's like some semblance of a tune here. I can build an outro real quick. Kind of see where we're at. I'm not really using any like Ableton mix stuff, hardly even. Like, I really just mostly have instances of this plugin. I forgot to put these guys back over there. Oops. I kind of want like a noise build up too. I feel like that shouldn't be too difficult to achieve with this crazy synth. It's got a bunch of built-in noise. So let's just like resample some of this weird noise. Try resampling up. Like the geyser noise. Cool. Easy. Yeah, so like I just want some, I just want a noise riser. I love a noise riser. You know me. I actually want this thing to be longer. I'm just going to consolidate a longer version of it real quick. Bloop. So I can... So there's another like common mix thing that'll happen, like to make that transition feels just super weird to me. I mean, aside from the fact that this whole thing is really weird, that part in particular is really weird. I think I'm gonna do. I'll do it this way. No, I'll do it the other way. I'm gonna, shows how decisive I am. I'm going to put a filter on the master. I'm going to flip it. It's going to be a high pass filter, and it will just turn on briefly here towards the end of this section. And what it's going to do is it's going to just give us a bit of a lift where we'll feel our low end go away. It'll like the rug comes out from you. You'll recognize this effect immediately. So that was a little extreme. But yeah, that's the idea.
Nice.
I feel like this noise could be louder. Cool. We can recycle that as a pointer sound earlier in the song too, in less dramatic fashion.
That's cool.
I'm like, oh, that seems so loud.
That was definitely louder.
It was weird. I was like turning it down and it wasn't getting quieter. So it's the reverb and delay combination that makes it kind of throws after. It's kind of fun vibe. Yeah. So anyways, I can like add a couple of these to like be the pointers to our different sections of the song. This one could be more dramatic here. Actually, I don't think I want one there. What does this sound? Huh. Okay. I found this lying around. This is like something I forgot to put in the project. Whenever I run across these things, I sometimes like to find a use for them. like have it play some funny part. Like, let's have that be twice that fast though. Make that a little loop so that it'll add that last note I want. That's the sound I wanted. Let's put drum bus on that and just destroy it. Oh, there's a note in there. Funny. Something to do with the warp mode here. These probably were our kick drums, huh? Probably what that was. Oops, I already did this. Make it a little thicker sounding. Like, yeah. It's fun use for that.
Oh, that's cool.
It is cool, but it's not in time, right? It would be a lot cooler if it was.
So what do you got to do there? You like changing?
Yeah.
Scooting it over a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. I'm just locking in some. Yeah, I don't have to actually lock all these in. They're good now. Yeah. But that's not the rhythm I want. I want something more like this. But they got off the rails here for some reason. I started doing something really strange. Oh, I forgot this thing has this like crazy sound baked into it. This is neat. So like that actually makes a rad ending. I wonder if I can extend this. Let's see if I can just like utilize that. So the tricky part is like I have this set up with this very specific rhythm, this like every 3/8 notes rhythm. So I just need to like preserve that rhythmic motif for this to make sense. But I think all I have to do is do that. And then like, boop, boop. Oh, this has crazy DC offset. I was like, why do I see 2 of these lines? Look at that. That's nuts. So let's just, well, you don't, I can just put a utility in here and that takes care of it. It even sounds better. Somehow. I kind of want that to happen just like a little later. So I'm going to do this and add 1 more of these at the front. So nitpicky. Oh, did you hear that? I decided to do a little roll there that I didn't program. I'm into it though. I'm just going to throw a little bit of a simple mastering chain kind of thing on here. And I think we're getting close to the end. I don't know what else I want to do. I feel like I got to utilize a lot of these sounds. This has definitely got a lot noisier and less like musical maybe than I was expecting. But that's part of the fun of it. Like when I'm exploring a new instrument, I like to explore its boundaries. You know, and so like, what is the weirdest thing I can do with it? And then I'll do that. You know. So I'm just going to do my kind of typical mastering strategy, saturation into a bit of a smiley face EQ. Since this track is kind of lacking low end and maybe got some mid mud, I just like know some things about how this is put together. Rolling off some highs because I feel like I have some harsh high frequencies in here. Gosh, there's so many fun tools that I didn't even try on here yet. Let's just hear how this sounds though. I'm just going to play it back. See how it makes me feel. Neat. So the one thing I feel like I was really missing was like, there's not enough like pumping action in this middle section here. So I thought I'd sidechain this crazy bass to this kick here. Cool. Yeah, I feel like like there's things I like about this and things I don't. As often happens when I sit down to make a track, you never really know what you're gonna get, especially when you restrict yourself like this. So like I really love how this feels when it comes back around. That I vibe with that for sure, and I like a lot of this middle section. I feel like it still feels really disjointed, and I feel like tying the threads together compositionally can be a challenge with something like this, especially when you're doing this sort of like light and dark or whatever kind of like juxtaposition of song sections. So yeah, it's going to be really challenging. Like one thing I didn't do is provide a whole ton of continuity between these two sections. Like I just generated different sounds for both of them. Like the drums play, but they're altered. This is the only instrument that they're shared, but it plays a very different part. So there's I could maybe try and add find ways to get this bass sound in there. But there's just so much noise at that point in the song that's like, we'd have to do a lot of rethinking about this. And maybe the real thing to do with a project like this is maybe there should be 2 songs. Maybe there should be a sort of a harsh, noisy, sort of a 4 on the floor techno kind of thing. And then this kind of cute little IDM kind of glitchy drum groove thing. But you never really know. Cool thing about music production is this is all stuff that maybe I don't ever do anything with this track again. A lot of these tracks I've made on the stream, I will never open again.
Track graveyard.
They're definitely, I moved several to the track graveyard this week. Actually, after deciding I never want to hear them again, you can go back and listen on the stream if you'd like. Well, it's not so much that I didn't want to ever hear them again. It's that the idea that I started with, is not. It doesn't feel like I want to develop it any further, Whereas I feel like this idea has some potential, but I think I'd radically transform it to get this to a place where I was like, oh yeah, this is a song I want to release or something like that. There's totally tracks that I've made on this stream that are going to be commercially released.
It's awesome.
Sometime soon.
It's
yeah,
cool.
it's
Get
really
to go
fun.
back and watch the birth of the idea.
Yeah. It'll be pretty interesting. I'd like to bring some. I know I've done some editing of the old ones.
Come back around and do an update on them.
Yeah, totally. I'll definitely. I think I'll maybe try and do the mastering sessions on the stream or something.
Yeah.
It's fun. Gives me something to do.
Something that's already kind of it's something that's done. That's
and that's we haven't really done that yet either. So album sequencing. So I've got 14 tracks that are gonna go on an album.
Nice.
I think more than half of which are made on the stream, or just here. A lot of them.
That's awesome.
Here we can see. Actually, we can see the track list. I'd say a handful. Yeah, half of these are made on the stream. I need to get permission from whoever made the music for Out of Order.
Oh, yeah.
I need to speak to that person.
We'll have to sort that out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, another stream subject. I made, do you remember that Pokemon remix I made on the stream?
Yeah.
I have become attached to that. And I should have learned my lesson. Last time I became attached to a piece of music I made with a Nintendo sample, it completely derailed my creativity for years.
Really?
And, well, I mean, I'm being a little exaggerating, but I still haven't finished the stuff. I still haven't released it. The stuff I recorded now 6 years ago. because I made all these recordings with a bunch of samples that weren't cleared and had no plan of clearing. And then I was like, wait a minute, I like this. I want to share this. And so I remixed the whole thing, replaced every single sample that was not allowed, that was audible. There's still some uncleared samples in there, but you won't. They're so transformed that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So are they pretty strict about it? Because I mean, like I hear songs on Spotify that use like Zelda samples or something, for instance, and it's like it's kind of a gray area.
Yeah, I left a lot of those in.
Yeah.
But what I took out was like any part where I lifted a piece of music. So I like that album had a lot of drum loops from like African funk and reggae and like just kind of rando African music.
Something that would have gotten like picked up by a. Because I wonder if like I know like YouTube for instance like it kind of has that algorithm where it scans through and can match things up with sounds that it knows. It'll say, oh, you used this song and it's really good about it. And so I mean it can pick up really faint, you know. I don't know how well it does look like something that's been remixed.
So I think once you've transformed, hey Lily, by the way, good to see you. I think when you've reasonably transformed it, like I don't know how well the YouTube algorithm figures it out. Like like you see people uploading videos that are just like cropped or like so with the audio version of that is pitching it up or down slightly or like speeding it up or slowing it down slightly. And I think there's like probably a certain threshold by which it'll continue to recognize it, and I bet it's getting better all the time too. So there is that issue. It's like less of a thing like with like it's more about like longer chunks of music than like like it's not listening to see like I mean if it was able to pick up on like a snare sample, there'd be no music on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like if it just decided that the first song it found with an 808 snare was the original song, like it would just take every other song on the internet down pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, with remixes it's more about like the actual like if a human being hears it who has a lawyer kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where like I totally have like I have my sample folder of like Zelda samples and I totally drop like I have a couple of favorites that I like to put in as sound effects. I'm quite fond of these like the Aghanim samples. Where's that? Like that one. That one's in there for sure. There's there's like a.
I just feel like it's so obscure that you could accidentally create or like so like you could accidentally do that and have something really close and not even realize.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, so like it's like I don't have the rights to use these sounds, but if you're reasonably transformed, it's it's a legal gray area. For sure. Probably shouldn't be admitting on the internet that these are in my album. But so like where it becomes a problematic though, just while we're on the subject, is when it becomes something more like a musical composition. So like that sound, it's just like whatever, just some noise. But where's the weather vane sound? The like bird. What's it called? It's a flute. I think it's called flute. Tagged with magic cape.
Are these linked to the past?
Yes. This sound. So it's like all those sounds that are just like one shot kind of things. Whatever. It's just like random noise. But this, or this. So like one of my songs just looped the whole song, like the entire song.
Interesting.
That file. So I basically I did what's called interpolating the sample, which is I recreated it, a new version of it, and ended up like kind of like I ended up chopping the thing up and like sort of rearranging the melody. But here I'll just since we're talking about it. I have the bounce of it here. this.
Yeah. I would have.
It's pretty transformed at this point.
Yeah.
Anyways,
This one would be a fun one to do a 3D music video too.
we could. So like that drum loop in there was originally like lifted just like with absolutely no change whatsoever, nothing, straight out of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner by Black Uhuru. It's like one of my favorite like later roots reggae songs. Black Uhuru is really cool, good band. But yeah, so like that would have been problematic. Like that probably would have gotten picked up by an algorithm. Even.
Yeah.
Like that's like it's just like 4 bars of a drum break from that song. You know, like so it just so that was problematic. So that's a replace samples with like all I went through and just like layered a bunch of loops and just listened back and forth and tried to recreate it as closely as possible, but with things that I actually had the rights to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun activity. So I do need to do that with the Pokemon song.
Oh, okay. Recreate it.
Yeah, while we're talking about new streams and topics, like maybe that would be one for next week.
It's a good skill, I feel like, especially if you find something that you like inspires some,
Totally.
an idea. It's kind of, I mean, it's like tracing, learning to draw or like creating something from,
Yeah.
you use references. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, like.
Totally.
So.
This one's gonna be a little tricky. We can revisit here if you want to hear it. This is the thing I need to fix. It's a full sample track, so it has like a bunch of different instruments in it.
Oh yeah.
Right. So even in that, there's like the bell tree, and like plucked violins, and then like the violins come and hold a long sustained high note, and then there's like another low instrument that enters. Oh yeah, the clarinets and oboe, or clarinets and bassoon. It sounds like. So like even within that thing, there's like 8 instruments in the first 3 seconds of that.
Yeah.
And so like I'm gonna go through and recreate every element of it. Let's do that next stream. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Because it's on my to-do list and I need to get it done.
So what's your final verdict on this KIA VST? The whole plot of the. Do you have a verdict yet? Or are you like still trying to decide what?
Well, you know what? I have to say that like what I did not do on this stream is play through a bunch of the presets. But I just find the actual core sound of this thing to be awesome. Even though it's just like a simple, like you'd think this is a solved problem. This is a basic saw wave going through a basic wide open, or a modulated, I guess, cutoff, like. But there's something about the way the low end on it sounds, especially like, what was it? This preset I found, I was surprised.
I wonder if this means something bigger for them, if they're going to be doing more of this kind of music stuff, or if this was just like a one-off sort of.
It's really strange.
Skew into.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious. It seems like a very like weird promo. I certainly don't feel like I want to go buy a car.
It's interesting.
I don't know if you do, but
they've kind of always had like a thing with music. I mean, their whole branding for the Kia Souls was all around the sound system. Was like a big selling point of it.
Interesting.
So I don't know like if they've done branding around sound with other cars, but wonder if they'll end up doing some hardware or something.
It'd be really funny. Or at least they like let you load this on like the touch screen in your car and like mess around.
That'd be cool too. I mean,
I don't know.
There's some Tesla stuff like that. They got like I think they've got a.
Oh yeah, they have
audio.
they have external speakers so you can like. Play,
Oh yeah, you can play outside. Yeah.
I saw a artist I follow on Instagram, Richard Devine, who's like a crazy modular synth guy. Mm-hmm. He like and also he just like seems to have a ton of disposable income. because his whole channel is just about buying every new piece of equipment, or they probably send it to him. I don't know. But he also drives a Tesla, so I assume he has a lot of disposable income. But he like modded it so it sounds like the Tron light cycle, and like plays it. Not only plays it in the cab, but like plays it out to people on the street. They had to. I remember a controversy recently because people were making their Teslas fart at motorists or at pedestrians, and they had to like disable that feature.
People didn't like that, huh?
Yeah, apparently farting cars not get them in trouble with the Department of Transportation, perhaps.
Yeah, there's probably no rules around that yet.
Well, I'd be curious to know, like, do car horns, like, you know, because there are those like novelty horns that play songs or whatever, but like, is there a rule that says your car horn can't be like a fart?
I mean, if you're getting people's attention, that's the whole point, right? It's
right.
like,
I don't know. I'd be curious to know, though. There might be. Like, there are standards for strange things. There are all kinds of strange standards. So back to the subject at hand. My verdict on this instrument is that it's pretty neat and that it has a bunch of really useful, mostly low-end sounds. It's a mono synth, so it's kind of like... I just really like how this low-end sounds. If I get out like a similar preset in like one of Ableton's default instruments, like it feels a little different. I'm just gonna do this real quick and not dig into this too much, but I'm just gonna get out analog, which is Ableton's original default analog model synth. So here's like just like a. Here's a single saw wave in Ableton synth. And then let's try and do something very similar, single saw wave in KIA synth. I'm getting different notes, that's funny. There's definitely something going on under the hood here.
Yeah.
Like this sounds to me like a raw oscillator output. It's kind of like what I'm used to hearing. And this just feels like it's got some like mojo happening. So like as like a single oscillator tone generator, it's actually great. Like it's just like really nice. The one thing that's kind of a drag, dude, my CPU when I started this project was hovering around 25. And now that I've added all these other tracks, I've dropped about 10%.
Well, that's weird.
There is something, I think these, I'm on an M1 Pro processor, and Ableton is native, and all of the Ableton plugins are native, but all of my, like the KIA synth and a few of my other synths are running through a wrapper, so it's still not native. Kind of cool that it lets me do that. I didn't think that was going to be an option originally, so it's kind of saving my butt in a lot of ways. But the wrapper seems to be pretty CPU intensive because it's running everything through a translation layer that then has to be happening pretty zippy because it needs to translate that in real time. You know.
Okay.
Like there's low latency always is like that's why audio is so intense on CPUs. It's the latency requirements rather than like the actual things I'm asking it to do.
Right.
Yeah, it's strangely not like tanking my like again like I would expect it to tank my CPU even like when it's playing back like even one of the busier parts it's like not spiking as high as it was spiking when it was idling earlier. Super weird. So I think there's either something funny going on about the way that these plugins are being hosted in this wrapper or that it's inaccurately reporting its CPU usage. You know.
That seems like probably a more likely. That's not quite sure how to read it back.
Yeah, it's a weird one though.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well.
But it works, and I'm not complaining. I'm gonna export a version of this just so there's one around.
Cool. Alrighty, well, should we wrap it up for tonight?
I believe it's time. Thanks for tuning into this one. This was a weird one. I think next week, unless you have an idea, Jay, I think I would like to do that thing with that song.
Sounds good.
That seems totally productive, and that means that we can put a cute picture of a Pokemon on Instagram. So.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Lily, if you wanna, if you have any suggestions for Pokemon imagery, I forget what game that's from.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That sample. I don't think it really matters. But yeah, look out for that. We'll be here next week doing something weird.
Yep, that we will. Alrighty, we'll catch y'all next time.
Oh, I see. Yeah, drop us an idea in the Discord. I've never even heard of that one, so I'm gonna have to look it up.
All right. See you guys.
Bye bye.